welcome to my Frugal update, or Frugal living update. I was thinking about doing those weekly, but I'm not going to commit just yet. Let's start with one, and then see how I get on. I want to record them I am recording them as a podcast version because videos are just a bit too hard work sometimes, and I really want to get more content out there, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to doing full-on videos, so I decided to go with a podcast version. So I want to focus on frugal living because it's been a really big part of our life for the 2-3 years. It was before we moved house, but definitely since we moved house. So I'm not going to tell you what you can do to save yourself some money. I'm going to tell you what we do to save ourselves the money, and then if you fancy doing the same, that's entirely up to you. So I'm looking at my Excel spreadsheet. So I think the starting point for everyone should be to have a spreadsheet or a table in a notebook where you write your monthly spending, so you know exactly what's coming out every month. For most people, every month you'll have the same base of stuff, your electricity, your water, your mortgages, or your tenancy. Is that the word, tenancy, when you rent a house or rent a flat? TV licensing, car tax, all that stuff. And then you have the other stuff that come after. But I really like working that way because then I know exactly what's coming out. I know how much money I have left. I know how much I can save. And then I know how much I can spend on food and spend on going out and stuff like that. So I'm just going to run you through my budget and tell you how we do things. So my husband and I both get incomes. I only work part-time, so my income is considerably smaller, so obviously my contribution to the joint account will be smaller as well. We both set an amount together, we discussed and we agreed to the amount we both put in. We have child benefit because we have 2 children. We have a joint account with account fees, and that includes roadside assistance, I think the AA, mobile phone insurance, which for us is definitely a must-have. I think there's something else, a worldwide travel insurance, or was it a European travel insurance? One of those. And then there's something else, I don't remember what it is because we never use it. Then we have our electricity, we have our mortgages, we have our TV license, we have car tax because we have a car. We donate to Save the Children a little bit every month. We have for the 10 years. I wouldn't even know how to stop the payment even if I wanted to. I don't want to, but if I did, I wouldn't know where to start. We pay for water. We have a life insurance, a family plan, and an income protection insurance. So I don't know. And this is not financial advice, by the way. I am not a finance person. I'm just telling you what we're doing. We have a life insurance in case something happens to one of us. We have a family plan so that if something happens to one of us, then an insurance will give a certain amount until the children reach 18. I think you can do it until they're 21 if you want to, but then the monthly payment will be different. And we have an income protection for my husband because he's the biggest income earner from the family, so it made sense to do it on him and not. I could have done it on me as well, but I mean, realistically, to be honest, we're both in fairly safe jobs. But it's still nice to know, even if it's a certain, it's decent amount every month, but it's good to know that there's safety behind us. Some people choose to have 3 to 6 months savings that would enable them to have savings that would enable them to live for 3 to 6 months. I haven't reached that point yet. It's a huge amount of money to save, but this insurance gives us that kind of safety net if something was to happen. Then I have my weekly shop, so I have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, because we get 4.5 weeks a month roughly. We have a mobile phone contract, so something interesting we did with the mobile phone. We both own our handset. I think we bought them cash. We spent about 500 quid on each phone. It was there was Samsung refurbished Galaxy 10 Plus, I think. We must have had them for 3 years. I think they're on Galaxy S20 or something like that by now. I gotta be honest, I am so pleased with the Samsung. They last really well. if we forget the one I dropped and I cracked the screen and the one that Chris jumped in a swimming pool with, apart from that, they last really well. And we have that insurance on the account, on the joint account, that covered when we did have accidents. So we never had to, I think we paid 50 quid. 50 quid, I think it was. I think it's gone up a little bit now. But we paid 50 quid to get them fixed, and it's much less than 500 quid, or I don't know, I think iPhones are like £1,000 now, I'm not sure. It's just a lot of money. But what we do is that we both own a handset, and then instead of having two separate accounts for the mobile phone, Chris had an account with EE, and he had the possibility to take to get a second line basically on his account, and they picked up, I don't know how it's called, where they take your phone number with you. So they took my phone number from my previous provider. I think I was with Virgin before, and basically we get 2 mobile phone contracts for £23 a month. And I know it's not the cheapest, but one of the reasons we kept it is because when we go to France, we get 10 gig of data. Well, on normal, I think it gets 15 gig of data, because if you have the landline, you get extra data as well. But I get 10, and then when I go to France, I can keep my data and I can use it as part of my contract, so I don't pay extra. And then 10 gig is more than enough. 10 gigs, sorry. My family has Wi-Fi at home, so it's not a problem. So that is one of the reasons we kept it. We might look at doing something with that. It's been a little while, so maybe it's time, but yeah, it's on my radar. Then we have the council tax. Then we got the landline. So again, the landline, it was quite cheap when we started. It was £27. It's now gone up to 29. Everything's gone up, so I'm not surprised. I did have a look around, and I said, it's going up, it's bothering me. I look around, see if there's anything cheaper. There wasn't. So I think from the point, well, not with this provider. So I think from the point where you've looked at your provider and you're happy that you have the best price, if you can't be bothered to look around for whatever the reason, then that's fine. At least you had a look. In our case, we work from home on certain days of the week, and I don't really want to take the risk of not having internet at home because I need to work, and Chris does as well. Then there's school food for the kids, so that's a bit tricky as well, because we can pay weekly, but I choose to pay all at once because I can't be bothered to go on the website. They have a new system where you have to pick the food for every meal for each child. So when you have to do 6 weeks in a row and you have 2 children, it's 12 weeks and it's 5 meals a week. So 5 times 12, I'll let you count. So I can't be bothered to do it weekly, but I do it 6 or 7 weeks in a row. So that tends to be like quite a big chunk. So it's about like 160 quid for 6 weeks. But then the following month, I don't pay anything, and then you will come the month after, something like that, because there's always a school holiday somewhere in the middle. Then there's Lift's gymnastic class, and I think that's it. So that's kind of like our monthly budget and how I split it. And the things that I know that come back every month, everything else is extra. So we always set an amount of savings well before the next month. So for example, I know how much I'm going to save next month and how much I'm going to save the month after that, and so on and so on. I know I have Christmas is coming, then I have to get some stuff done with my teeth. Then I know that in January I need to save for insurances, because we used to pay insurances monthly, and then at some point we had the cash, so we decided to pay yearly. And sometimes I change provider. Last year I didn't change because I looked around and the prices were not better anywhere else, so I decided to stay with Churchill for the car insurance, and I don't think I found anything cheaper. And Sheila's Wills was more expensive for the house insurance, but that's because I've added some stuff, and I can't remember if it was the solar panels and if I added something else. I can't remember on the top of my head, but anyway, the car insurance was less, the house insurance was definitely more. I think we had a special discount on the first year. That's maybe how they get you in, but anyway, we'll see next year. I will look around. Martin Lewis has a really cool tool, I think, if I remember well. Sometimes I look at the Meerkat, I look around. It is hard work though, I have to say that it takes ages. It takes me like 2 or 3 hours every time. Then if I save 100 quid, then it's worth the 3 hours, So that's my base budget. Then there's the extra, and then there's the food. So For the food, what I do is I try to meal plan. And when I don't meal plan, I can tell the difference because I end up spending so much more. I used to be able, before, at the end of COVID, maybe even last year, if I did a really, really proper, thorough meal plan, I could spend 70 quid for the week for food for 4 people, like 2 children, 2 adults. That does not include school meal, that's just eating at home. And everybody knows food has gone up. I don't know if people realize how much it's gone up. I think you do at the end of the month if you really look at all your receipts and stuff, but I come back home every time I come back from Aldi and I say to Chris, oh my god, it's too expensive. And if I manage to reach my target, I come back happy. And if I'm above it, I come back grumpy. And sometimes it doesn't come down too much. It's like, you buy an extra thing that's like 5 quid. Or you buy, I don't know, 3 bottles of Coke instead of 2. That's an extra 2 quid. And you bought, I don't remember what I bought. I bought something last time and I was like, oh, why did I buy that? We could have done without it. But then, you can't stop yourself from buying everything, but you still have to think twice before you buy things. So anyway, I do try to meal plan. I have a notebook and I write my meal planning in it. And if you don't watch my video normally, it's notebooks that I've made myself. Well, not myself, I've designed myself, I've not made them. And that's my side hustle, so I will put the link down in the description. And I really find that meal planning really helps me. So what I first do is that I look through what I have in the freezer, and there's always some bolo or some chili or something in there that's frozen that I can use if I have nothing else to eat in the house. So there's always something to eat, really, technically. I will make a pasta meal, a rice meal, a taco meal. Sometimes we'll have a pizza meal. The kids love burgers. I buy brioche buns or normal buns. Brioche buns are more expensive. I buy normal buns sometimes. And some frozen chicken, and we make chicken burgers, or we buy beef and we make beef burgers, and the kids like it, and you make a side salad and they eat it. We do, from time to time, we make soup. I bought that's an investment, but it's worth it on the long term. It was a Ninja, I can't remember what it was called. I put the link down there. It was a Ninja soup and juice blender, I think. It does juice and it does soup. And I had a soup maker, and I gave it to a colleague, so it's not gone to the bin. I gave it away because it still worked. But I didn't want to have like loads of different stuff on the kitchen counter, so I wanted one that did both. And we've had the Ninja, it's been more than a year. I'm sure it's been more than a year. And I chopped my veg, I put some water, I put an OXO cube. Some soups are better than others. Last time I made a rata soup. It was a soup made with ratatouille vegetables, and Chris hated it. James didn't want to eat it, and the only one who ate it was Liv, because she was trying to make me happy. It was quite cute. But yeah, nobody liked the rata soup, so I do not recommend the rata soup. But anything with a cabbage or some leek tends to go okay. You trick a potato in there, a bunch of carrots, a bit of cheese on top at the end, toast some bread, put a bit of oil on it, some garlic if you have. It will be like garlic butter, well, not garlic butter, garlic toast with soup. And even my kids eat it, so that's definitely doable for a cheap meal. That's a winner. We try to do meat as well. So I try to buy normally. I used to buy 3 packs of meat a week, but we try to not buy the bigger packs. So we'll buy a pack of 600-gram chicken because that's just the format they have. They have a kilo. They have 2 kilos. You can buy bigger format and then freeze it as well. But I don't know, the 600-gram works for us. I don't like cutting raw chicken as well, so I tend to just cook it all at the same time, and then we split it among 2 meals if we can. Ideally, because 600 grams, you can definitely make 2 meals for 4 out of it. If we have steak, Aldi does a really good Big Daddy steak, they call it. At first it was just like a one-off, I think, and then he came back and we've been buying it regularly since. It's quite a thick cut of steak. So if you like rare in the middle, that's a good cut. It's not very fat. I do tend to look for the least fatty one because I don't like the fats in the steak, but there's a bit of everything. There's some larger one, thinner, or thicker one, smaller, it's up to you. And there used to be a $5, and I think there may be $5.50 now, but that's 500 grams of beef. And except maybe once or twice, overall the quality was pretty good. And I don't like hard meat. yeah, I don't enjoy eating something that I need to chew on for 3 hours. So no, overall it's been pretty good. And yeah, I think that's it. Aldi does this frozen crispy gusto chicken, I think it is. The kids really like that. I'm not crazy about chicken nuggets because I feel like I'm just eating bits of chicken put back together, which I'm pretty sure it is. Someone will agree with me, I'm sure. And the chicken, crispy chicken, I think it's gusto. I think it is. It's actual chicken, like proper chicken chunk, well, chicken chunk or chicken strips. They deep fry it, blah blah blah. But yeah, and I got an air fryer. I swear by my air fryer. And I put the link below as well if you're looking for one, because I bought the biggest one I could find. I know now they do some with like 2 drawers, which is even better. If you do chips and chicken, because then you can put different times. I put my chicken as long as my chips, and one of them always ends up overcooked. But I love the air fryer. It uses so much less electricity as well. I mean, when I use the oven, I can tell from the bill, it's like ridiculous. You can go on your, I get Octopus, but you go on your website and you look how much electricity you use, and when we use the oven, it's just like, ugh. Yeah, so the air fryer is brilliant. So quick meals with the air fryer. I've been rambling a lot about meals. Oh, the snacks. Kids started to buy snacks from the tuck shop. So it's not very expensive at all. It's like 10p for a slice of toast. But what I think it's really good for is that we give them £1. They keep it, they look after it. Liv has a little patch James puts in his coat pocket. They have lost it on the occasion, but because it's only £1, we're not that fussed. And it teaches them to go and buy something from the shop, and I'm sure that's why school does it. And it teaches them to count money and give money, get the money back and stuff. And it's also nice to not have to worry about the snack. I do put a snack in their bag just in case the tuck shop runs out of food, which I don't think has happened recently. But it did happen in the past where James said, there was too much queue or blah, 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 and I didn't get a chance to go there, to get there. So we do put a snack in their bag just as a backup. What else new? Food-wise? No, I mean, when I'm planning, there's loads. I could talk to you about a few basic or easy dinner that we do again and again and again. I gotta be honest, our range of meals is quite narrow and not very exciting, and that's why we like takeout so much. So let's go to the downfall, the things where we spend money the most. It's not petrol, surprisingly, because we work mostly from home and I work really close to where I live, so I don't spend a lot on petrol at all. The thing we spend the most money on is takeout. And I know people will say, well, just stop eating takeout, but if I could do it, I would have. And I think also we're not doing that much, like our life is quite chilled. So the takeout or going out for a meal is kind of our thing. So we do enjoy it. We try to limit it somewhat, but we do enjoy a takeout. It's nice. Like tonight we had a takeout and we watched a movie with the kids, and it's quite nice not to have to worry about cooking. You still have to wash up though, but at least you don't have to cook, so that's nice. Yeah, I think that's it. I've been over the spendings for the month. I've talked about the food. I'm reviewing my list while I'm talking to you. Let me think about it. I might put a little music so you don't get bored while I think about things. No, that's it. So looking at savings, like I was saying, we plan savings ahead. For me, it's a really big thing to be able to plan ahead, because I mean, if you have like £3,000 per month, is brilliant, well done. But if you don't and you want to go on holiday, you definitely need to plan your savings in advance. I think that's a really big deal, and that's if you can afford holiday. I appreciate some people can't afford to go on holiday. We had a big plan last summer. We had a nice holiday, but quite a lot of things went wrong. So next summer we plan to go on a 10-day holiday in a really nice hotel, all inclusive, food made for you, cleaning done for you, and when I say for you, I mean for me, because I just wanted like the chillest holiday. And we basically had to say, no, it's not happening this year. Unless something happens by next summer, it's not happening. So sometimes we have to put our plans on a back burner or downsize them. So we're still going to go on a holiday. We just because I've done my planning and I've done my budgeting, I know we can't afford the big holiday I was hoping for. But then, in a way, it's almost, you can move forward in life a bit more peacefully, thinking, okay, I don't have to save that huge amount of money that I had set to save. It's all right. We'll go on holiday, a bigger holiday the year after if we can. And that's because budgeting and planning. So I think I would call that podcast Budgeting and Planning, because I talk a lot about planning ahead. And I think as far as I can remember, we've been planning ahead. I've been using spreadsheets for a long time. And it's really basic. It doesn't have to be a complicated spreadsheet, but just something where you can put your amounts in and what is due to come out and what's come out. And if you have a very snug budget, I think it really helps to know exactly where you are so you don't go into overdraft. And I think that's really handy. So I hope you found today's today's podcast interesting. Thank you for listening. If you have any hints and tips about how you do your budget, your planning, feel free to share them in the description below. I'll put a few links down below. They probably will be affiliate links, but it won't cost you anything. I get a little something if you decide to have a look or buy something, but you don't have to. But if you do, it will help me out. So thanks in advance. And I will see you in my next podcast. Bye.